Hi, Traumedians. We just wanted to give you a fair warning that while this episode contains a lot of heart and still some laughter, we do also have some trigger warnings of graphic depictions of rape and sexual assault, substance abuse, and victim blaming. If you're in need of additional resources on these topics, we will include links in the description of the episode.
You want to talk about it?
I'd rather laugh about it.
Let's get a little dark about it on the Traumedy Show. Welcome to the Traumedy Show. I'm your co-host, Rachel Wilford.
And I'm your other co-host, Megan Wilford.
And today we have somebody on who is very important and very special to us, Alexis and Mejia.
I
almost
said Tarzi. I said Alexis Tarzi earlier.
You did?
Like 20 minutes ago.
That's funny.
We're freaking out because she recently got married.
Yeah. We should clue them in.
Yes.
I was like, oh, Mejia, that's right.
Yeah.
Our beautiful, gorgeous married friend.
Yeah.
Thank you. I recently, actually, I think it was the other day, was like, I need to change my signature because I'm definitely still signing Tarzi. So, and I mean, I haven't even changed my license or anything. So it's just a long process.
Oh yeah.
We're dragging our feet.
Oh yeah. I mean, all of my stuff is literally today at the doctor. There was a whole debacle because I told them my name is Megan Wilford, but insurance is his showhead. And I'm like,
oh gosh.
Changing your name sucks.
Yeah.
But we like changing to Mejia. That's a good
It's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah,
it's
you're
fun.
changing
It's also
for a good
easier to
reason.
spell.
Alexis is one of my best friends from college. So I went to San Diego State in my second semester of college. Very first day of class, Alexis and I had class together, and we just sat next to each other. It was kind of a small class. It was a journalism class.
Yep.
We were both transfer students. We didn't know this at the time, but it was a journalism class, and we sat down next to each other, and the assignment in class that day was to interview your neighbor.
Yep.
And so she and I started interviewing each other, and you're like, wait, you like that? Wait,
yeah.
you're a transfer student too? Wait, you're from here? Wait. And then we kind of had friend crushes on each other. And I remember we got each other's numbers. I specifically remember texting you. I was really excited to text you about getting a lunchbox because we got lunch that day together with Taylor, who we also had on the podcast a little while ago. Mm-hmm. And so I introduced you to Taylor, who was also my new friend, but I'd known her for a semester at that point. And then I think you had brought your lunch that day or something. And you were like,
I had a lunchbox with ice packs in it.
yeah. And I don't know why. I just
was
thought
like,
it was the
dude.
most genius thing ever.
Yeah.
And so then that weekend I went to Target and I was like, I'm going to text Alexis and tell her that I got a lunchbox.
Yep.
And that we're going to be best friends. But you had a friend crush on me too.
Yeah.
So it was mutual.
Well, because I think it even started, we were waiting in the hallway before the class, like before the professor opened the door. Mm-hmm. And I remember, I think one of us turned to the other like, what? Like, when is he going to come? That kind of vibe of like, what's going on? Just this mutual confusion. Mm-hmm. And then like, I remember kind of walking in there and just like, we both were still like walking next to each other, grabbed seats next to each other, and like the rest is history.
The rest is history. And now here we are almost 8 years later.
Damn.
Yeah. Because we were juniors. Yeah. Transfer student juniors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that was one of the bullets I have here in my notes is like, at the time I was dating my boyfriend, and I remember that lunch, just like we were just talking, like, I'm telling you about my ex, you're telling me about the wolf. Mm-hmm. And we're just kind of like, I thought I was going to marry my ex. And so, I'm just blissfully in love. And then literally, because it was one of those, I think it was like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday kind of class. Mm-hmm. So the next time I saw her was 2 days later. And I was devastated because I had just gotten broken up with out of the blue.
I meet Alexis, and then like 2 days later, I see her again for like literally the second time, and it's immediately crisis.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah. I couldn't keep a lid on it. Like I would kind of try and, you meet someone new and you're not going to share your biggest like horrific traumas. But I was raw processing. And so I remember Rachel was obviously immediately there for me because that's just the type of person you are, but it made us get really close really fast.
Yeah. Because you had kind of
trauma to bond.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah. Because you had kind of transferred to that school for him a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Because he was in that area.
Yeah. he was in San Diego all 4 years of school. I was in LA my first year of college, went to Loyola Marymount, was not for me at all. Also very expensive. And so after that, I transferred home, went to community college for a year. And then at that point, I was like, okay, my boyfriend who I think I'm going to marry is in San Diego. I am up here. I either want to be like, basically at that time, like the first time I applied to college, I applied, everyone applied to so many schools, like whatever. The second time I was like, it's either SDSU or Sac State. And part of the reason was because of a big part. I actually got really lucky though, because even though, he broke up with me after I had only been there for 1 semester, but the school we went to, for my major, which was advertising, which was under journalism, they're like a very good school for journalism, which I didn't know. And so it ended up working out very well, and obviously like still live here, so clearly it wasn't a bad decision. But
well, damn, your husband lived in San Diego. So
I wouldn't have met him. So a big part of the reason I came down here was for him. Not completely, but over probably like 80% of the reason. Yeah.
And I remember you telling me about this.
Woods.
True.
I remember you telling me about like was it like a Valentine's Day gift you were working on for him or something?
Oh my
something
God.
about like going to Big Bear.
So yeah, it was our anniversary gift.
It was your anniversary
I think.
gift.
Yeah, because that was the thing. Our anniversary was I forget, very early, like first week of January. And he was out of town in like on a study abroad thing, which I'm like 90% sure he cheated on me on the trip, but it's fine. And so he was on that trip, and while he was gone, obviously I was missing him, whatever. And so I put together this. Oh, and also I think his birthday was actually it might have been his birthday present. I don't think it was an anniversary present, but our anniversary was also that month. But yeah, so I put together this, like, I wanted us to go to Big Bear. So I put together this, like, everything you'd need for a trip to Big Bear. And and then literally gave it to him and got broken up with that same night.
Yeah. Fucked up.
So yeah,
it's fucked up.
Yep. It was so.
You're like, thanks for reminding me, Rachel.
No, I forgot all about that, but not in like a, it's funny now, but
because you had been dating him for like 3 years at that point, and I had been dating the wolf for like 3 years at that point.
Yep.
So we kind of bonded over that of like, oh wait, you're in a 3-year relationship too? Me too.
Yeah. We both wanted to marry them, and
so glad we both didn't.
Man. Sheesh. You guys cuss on this podcast?
Oh fuck yeah, we cuss.
I'm like, I'm trying to censor myself.
She's like, you're darn tootin'. I'm glad I didn't marry him.
Man, oh man. No, but I do remember even sitting with you at lunch, and I remember you telling me something about the wolf, and I remember being like, be careful. He sounds like he needs some therapy.
Really?
It was something about his his family dynamic and the trauma there. And I remember, and then I think I asked you, has he gone to therapy? And you were like, well, no, he studied it. He studied psychology. And so he feels like he knows what they're going to say. And I was like, okay, be careful. Because it actually might have been after my ex had broken up with me, because I think at that point I was thinking very cynically of like, be careful, because I at that point felt like it was like unresolved issues that made my ex break up with me. I don't think that's true now, but at the time I was like, be careful, it'll boil over and blow up, which I don't know, maybe that was part of it, but I also think the wolf's just piece of shit through and through.
I mean, he is a piece of shit, but it's interesting that you mentioned that, because I don't think I've ever mentioned like what he studied in school, and it is interesting that it was psychology, because I think that
lends well to manipulating.
I know, and I think I could be totally making this up, but I think in the true crime stuff that I've listened to in the past, I feel like it's kind of common for people. I don't want to put a label on him, although I do have tons of them that I would love to say, but people like that study psychology or know that field, and then they kind of like use it to their advantage, I feel like in a dark 100%. Way. I think he already like is dark in the head, but then
like Dr. Hannibal, like Hannibal Lecter is a
I think the murderer in Idaho, the guy that killed the students at Idaho state
Oh,
a
yeah.
few months ago. I'm pretty sure he was studying psychology or like
Yeah.
criminology or something. I remember that being in the news.
Dang.
So if your boyfriend is studying psychology,
Run.
Yeah. Well, I do. I mean, I feel like it can go one of two ways. It
Yeah. Yes.
either really good or really bad.
There's no in between. There's no gray area when it comes to studying psychology.
Yep.
But yeah, we have Alexis on today to share a story that is very personal. And it's also personal to me as well, which is going to be interesting because obviously, like she and I have touched on it here, and it happened almost 8 years ago.
Yep.
We've talked about it, you and I, here and there ever since then.
Yep.
And it's a big show of strength that Alexis is even here talking about this publicly at all. I think that you've always felt that you wanted to do something with it, but didn't know like when or how, or for a while, like you definitely struggled to process and everything too. So it is very full circle. And we've talked about this, that just like we have this medium where we can share your story and hope that it helps somebody. So,
And reaches a kind audience because the Traumedians are very sweet.
very good. Yes. Yes.
I can't say I'd go just anywhere with this, but it feels like a
100%.
safe place.
Yeah, 100%. It is. And we're going to put a trigger warning in the beginning of this episode, so you've already heard that. But just as another fair warning before we get started, this is a story about sexual assault.
Yeah.
So if that is a topic that, you know, is going to be triggering for you to hear, we're going to kind of give some additional little points in there of when things might get a little bit more graphic, or maybe you just need to skip through some parts. But yeah, this is Alexis' story, and I'll let you take it away.
Okay. Shoot. Darn tootin'. So obviously we gave background of like how I met you, because this happened to me like only a few months after that, which is pretty gnarly. But yeah, so actually backing up a tiny bit, right before my ex broke up with me, I had kind of been someone that I always have been, someone that goes all in with my relationships. And so one of the things that has kind of happened in the past is I kind of pour so much into that person that I pull back from my other relationships. And so one of the unfortunate things that happened over the 3 years when I was with my ex is I really didn't have much of a network outside of I remember like having my ex and having my family, and like not really a lot else. Like I had friends from home and stuff, but we were all spread out at that time. We were all in college. Like I just remember feeling like my social circle was not really existent. I spent all my time with my ex and then my family. And so I remember so during that time when he was like, you know, on his study abroad trip and stuff like that, I was like, well, what am I gonna, like, who the fuck am I gonna hang out with, you know? And I remember being super sad and depressed and talking to my mom about it. My mom was like, I think you should go to therapy, which I'm so freaking thankful. Actually, my therapist is the one that was on this podcast a couple episodes ago.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Said that. Yeah. Shout out Danielle.
Yeah, Danielle's amazing. So this was not Danielle. But years ago, I started seeing a therapist that my mom helped me find down here, and I was just kind of seeing her for like, just, I felt sad. You know what I mean? Like I was just feeling depressed. And I remember even like we wrote like a pie chart of like who my friends were, and it was like my ex, my family, and then I remember I just put God kind of like in the middle. And I was like, I just don't really have friends here. And so I remember our sessions were about that for a little while, and like only a couple weeks. Then my ex broke up with me. So then it was all like that. Like it was like, yeah, sink or swim. I was like, all right, we're talking about this now. And honestly, one of the biggest blessings from that breakup was I had to branch out. I had to find friends, and now I'm just so blessed. Like I have to pinch myself when I think about it, just like the friends I was able to make that from that time that are still friends to this day, and like meeting you, and then therefore Megan meeting you through Rachel, and like just some of my best friends like wouldn't probably have happened if I were still in that relationship. So very cool. But
I became a larger piece of the pie chart at that point.
Yeah, my pie chart was completely different, which is really cute that I have that like visual with it, because now it's like, now it's just like, it's like an actual pie.
We were having weekly date nights in my little box of a room with my mattress on the floor. We would get pizza. We'd go
mac
get
and
beer.
cheese. We'd make mac and cheese.
Yeah, we'd make mac and cheese. This was before you were even 21, so you had a fake ID. And we were,
which we don't endorse necessarily.
What you do when you're 20 years old is your business, and we stand by that.
What I did was use my fake ID. I know. I was thinking about that too. Mine was from Chicago. I'm so sure. Like, I'm a Chicago girl. But yeah, it was a time. But yeah, I'd come over like every week. We'd eat.
Just in those like few months. Or just in general.
That whole semester, because you were living at that apartment that whole time, right? Yeah. It was like that whole semester I'd come over, and and I remember like that you showed me How I Met Your Mother. I'd would just watch whatever episode you were on. We'd sit on your bed and we'd eat, and
that's so cute.
Yeah.
That's honestly so wholesome.
Yeah. My little mattress on the floor.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Yep. I remember we were trying to kill like little flies one time. Do you remember that? I don't know.
Oh God.
It's a random memory. I just feel like we were like up and trying to kill flies randomly that were in the room.
Apartment was such a time.
It wasn't your favorite. Yeah, that's what we'll say. But yeah, so that time, so I'm seeing my therapist just primarily now talking about my breakup. And I remember it was a couple months later. It was spring break, and I was going home to Sacramento for spring break, which I believe must have been in March. And I remember that trip being like, wow, I finally like don't feel like this, like super heavy. Like I was by no means healed from the breakup, but I was very much like, okay, I could maybe date, or like, I'm not thinking about this person constantly. I'm not crying about this all the time. Like the good days are outweighing the bad, like that kind of thing. I remember
you were
just
having
feeling
like panic attacks and stuff like that kind of had subsided. I feel like.
Yeah. No, during that time too, I think, was when I got on antidepressants for the first time. And I had, I remember a prescription for, is it lorazepam? That's like the panic one, or I forget. I was on something for panic attacks, which I think was kind of like a different type of Xanax, because it was just that frequent, so my mental health was pretty low, and then it was gradually getting a lot better, and therapy was helping a ton. And then, so I was home. I remember having a great like vacation, and then I flew back down to San Diego. And so I was on a Southwest flight. Obviously, we know Southwest lets you choose your own seats. And I remember getting on this flight, and you're kind of like scanning like, where am I going to try and fit myself? And I remember at the time, like seeing this cute guy on the plane and seeing that he had a seat available next to him. And I remember being like, oh, he's cute. Like, how cool if I like sat by him and we started talking, like maybe I'll try and sit by him. And the seat was still available by the time I shuffled my way down. So I was like, fuck it. Like, I'll try this. And so I asked if, the seat was full, and he was like, no. So I ended up sitting in it. And sure enough, we ended up striking a conversation and talking like the whole, I don't know, hour, 15-minute flight. It's not a long flight, but still, we're talking like the whole time. And I remember thinking like, how cool, like how, like, I don't know, just, I was always kind of like thinking like 10 steps ahead. So I was just like, oh my God, like new little romance. Like how convenient that we both live in San Diego, but then home is like in Sacramento. I remember just thinking like ahead to freaking holidays and stuff like that, where you're just like, wow,
we do it.
Yeah, like
what
how nice,
cute, and you get married, and we blah blah blah. Yeah,
how easy.
And we're gonna call this person Andrew.
Yep. Hopefully I remember it.
Or Satan's butthole.
Or Satan's butthole.
I think
Andrew for short. Full name Satan's butthole.
I think I was with you, Rachel, when like we came up with that and changed it.
Did we?
I think so. I'm
in
like,
Alexis's phone, he's Satan's butthole.
Yeah, and he's blocked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That does sound like something we would come up with together.
Yeah, because I didn't want to delete the number and then not know.
Yeah.
I think was part of it too, but I just didn't. Also, it's an A name, and so it's right up there in the contacts, and I think that was hard too. So I think that was part of the reason we ended up changing it.
It's bury him by Satan.
Yeah. So we were talking, and you know, the plane lands, and I just remember being like, all right, like we exchanged numbers when the plane landed, and I was like, sweet. And I found out he went to San Diego State too. Like everything, like it was just very convenient.
I remember getting very excited texts from you about it.
Really?
Oh yeah. I remember specifically even before, I feel like you might've even seen him before you got on the plane. I kind of remember like, oh my God, there's this really hot guy. I'm going to try to sit by him or whatever. Yeah.
That's funny. Cause that was definitely going on in my head. So if I was able to text it and I think like it was probably a pretty packed flight. Cause I do remember having a lot of time to be like, should I do it? Should I do it? Should I try and sit by him? And then like, okay, there's still a lot of people in front of me that could potentially sit there.
Yeah.
So this like probably won't even work out, you know? So,
and honestly, in hindsight, we wish that it wouldn't have.
Yeah,
but
my goodness. Yeah. But hey, if telling this can help people, like I feel like I am so much closer to / almost at a place where I'm like, I don't know. It feels weird to say like it was worth it or like I would do it again or whatever. But like just to kind of be like, I wouldn't blot that out of my life. You know what I mean?
Change it. Maybe.
Yeah. Like it was really, really hard and horrible, but like, you know, I wouldn't have been able to do XYZ if not like that. I don't know that I'm all the way there, but definitely really close to there.
Yeah.
So
not everybody even needs to get there or maybe will get there. But like, it's honorable that you are on your way to it.
Yeah. 100%. So we get off the plane. I don't even remember saying byes, but obviously must have. And I remember getting home that night and it was a night flight. So I remember getting home pretty late. I was still awake, but I remember it being definitely after midnight. And I remember he texted me to hang out and I like that night. And I remember being like, don't ruin this meet cute. Like, don't try and booty call me. Like,
you wanted to hang out that night?
Yeah, he wanted to hang out that night. And I was and I remember being like -5 points. Like, damn it.
Yeah.
You know, because it's just like,
-5 points for Slytherin for sure.
Yeah, like it's late. Like, I don't know. I just was like, what? I really like, I want this to be like a cute romance, not like a, you know, want to hang out. Like, bro, what?
Yeah.
But I do remember we ended up making plans for a couple days later for like an actual date. And we met up at, I think, we definitely met up at Liberty Station. They have like a food hall there. So, we ended up
San Diego.
Yeah. We ended up walking around, got dinner, like walked, talked, whatever. And, I remember it was going well. We ended up at Stone Brewing, which is also there. And I remember we sat at the bar and I remember I was embarrassed because he did not have a fake ID, did not have, like, he had just a regular ID. Neither of us were 21 yet. Okay. And I had my fake ID. So, you know, I was like, we were going to order drinks, but I'm like, assuming he's either 21 or has a fake. Yeah. And, and he tells me, I think like right before we order, like that he doesn't, but he's just going to try anyways. So I remember being like, and so we ordered a beer and they obviously card us. I hand them mine. He's like, oh shoot, you know, I don't remember if he actually handed them his ID and it was underage. I don't think he did that because I think we would have gotten kicked out. I think he just was like, I forgot it. Yeah. And I just remember being like, this is like, why? Don't try. That's embarrassing.
That is embarrassing.
And I remember we got a dessert and I was just kind of like, okay. But like the date went well. I still was down to see him. I just remember, I just don't like those kind of situations. So I was just like, oh, this is awkward. Like, no. But yeah, I remember the date went fine. Like it was good. I don't remember anything crazy. I don't remember, you know, I don't even know if we kissed or anything. I just remember like, okay, we're going to see each other again.
You liked him.
For sure. Yeah. He was a really cute guy. Like I said, I noticed him on the plane and wanted to sit by him. So he was definitely like a conventionally attractive guy. So I was excited about it and whatever. So a couple days later, you and I went to Pint Night. So this was one of our traditions that we had was like every week there was a pizza place in that area. That was a lot of times where we would get pizza and go to your apartment. I think actually I grabbed pizza from there to bring to your apartment. And that's how I discovered Pint Night was happening because I Went there, just so happened on a Thursday, and I was like, oh my gosh, they're doing like really cheap. What was the deal? It was like you got to keep the glass.
Yep.
Fun.
Was it wings? No, it was. Yeah, it was.
I think you just got really cheap drinks. Like I remember if
you bought a pizza or something.
Yeah, something like that. Some kind of deal, which was, it was stupid good price. So we were going every week, and I stumbled upon it, and so we kind of made it a thing. And
Woodstocks in San Diego.
Yep, really close to campus, I think too. And so we were there, and I remember
was there too
that night.
Yep.
Oh, really?
Yes, he was.
Was anyone else there with us? Was Taylor there? Because there were several times that we went with different people, so I don't remember who was there that time.
Yeah, either Amanda or Taylor, or maybe it was just the three of us.
Were we sitting outside?
We were sitting outside, and I have a picture of you and I.
Do remember. You have a picture of me and you from that night?
I do. Yeah.
I was trying to look in my phone for pictures around this time, and I know that I went to Easter at your house like a week after this, but I don't have any like pictures from like that day really.
Yep. I have one of you and I right before you left.
Wow. Crazy. Should have stayed.
Wow.
Yeah. So we were at Pint Night. It does not matter, but it does for sake of some bullshit he tries to say later.
Sure.
I specifically had 2 beers, shared pizza with you, like not just a slice, a pizza.
Yeah.
And we used to they had a cinnamon pizza dessert. You remember the dessert pizza?
So good. Yes.
Also large, carby.
Yep.
Yum.
Moral of the story, I'm not drunk. I'm not drunk.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm bringing that up. If I was, this is worse, honestly.
Yeah.
So it shouldn't even be relevant in this case later, I guess. But yeah, I was not drunk. I was not
He doesn't have
drunk.
an argument regardless.
No, he doesn't. Yeah. He doesn't. But yeah, that comes up later. He tries to say I was drunk. And I'm
Which
like,
is not in his best interest, even.
That's why I was like, what? Because automatically can't consent, but he doesn't understand. So, so we were at Pine Night, and I remember, and it was in that area. At the time, I lived like 30 minutes north. So whenever I was down there, it was like it's convenient to like kind of make this a thing, hang out down here as much as possible. Like I'm around the corner from. I knew we lived, like right across from San Diego State. So I was like, I'm literally right there. Like, what if we hung out? So I texted him, and I actually have the text, but I was like, hold on. I kind of did a page early, I think. Oh, okay. I texted him it was 7:44 p.m. I was like, what are you doing? And he was like, chilling. Immediately responds the same minute. Chilling. Why? And I was like, well, if I get done here early, I didn't know if you were busy. Because I do think before this we had been texting. So I don't think I just texted him out of the blue, which is why everything was very short. But I was like, well, if I get done here early, I didn't know if you were busy. Because obviously we were talking before because we're here. If we hadn't been talking about it. And then he was like, not busy at all. You drunk? Which... red flag. My goodness. Looking back, it's like, why?
Yeah,
why?
Right. Yeah.
I said no, LOL. And he was like, you can definitely come over after. And then he was like, just me over here. And hold on.
Also making it clear that like he's alone in his apartment. Wink, wink.
Yeah. You drunk? You loose?
Yeah.
And yeah, I was like, I'm going to have one more beer probably. And he's like, okay. And I was like, yep. And then he's like, let me know when you're on your way. I said, will do. He texted me about an hour later.
He's a great texter.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Amazing conversation.
Yeah. Riveting.
Seriously.
He texted me an hour later, you good? And I said, yes, haha, I'm coming soon. He said, okay, cool. And then I texted him heading over. Is that okay? And he's like, yeah, totally. And then I was like, just parked. He's like, for sure. Should I come meet you? And I was like, yeah. So he meets me. Because the plan was, I don't know when this was established. It must have been earlier in those texts that I don't have anymore. That we were going to see a movie. We're going to see Get Out. It was that that movie was in theaters.
Okay.
And I think it
that was the movie you ended up seeing.
yeah,
That's wild.
which is ruined.
Okay, yeah.
Major ruined.
Wild. Okay.
Yeah. So the movie was Get Out, and we were supposed to see it at 10 p.m. So for me to arrive at like 9, there was some time to kill, which I was fine with. He walks me up to his apartment, and it's a very weird apartment. So it's right across from the school, and basically you walk in, and there's like a living room area, like no walls, like in this area, living room, and then like all the same room over here. You can tell they're trying to make like it's supposed to be a dining room, kitchen right here, a little bit like this. But imagine, and then they have one bedroom and a bathroom, so it's a 1-bedroom apartment.
Okay.
2 guys in there, but the roommate's not home.
Okay.
Because of that, I think they have converted it. So they have their beds in the living room, and then they have the couch and the TV in the bedroom, and then the bathroom is off the living room. So you walk in and there's bed, like it would be like bed there, bed here.
Oh, weird.
Kitchen.
Yeah.
And then like it was so weird.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay. So we're like, okay, well, we have time to kill. Like, you want to watch some TV? So we go into that like back bedroom, and so I remember he threw on The Office. I was obsessed. I still love The Office, special place in my heart. But yeah, he threw on The Office. And so we were kind of watching it, and like, it was pretty clear, like, we're going to be making out. You know what I mean? You're just kind of hanging out. You're like, what else is there to do before, we've got an hour to kill. Like, we're cuddling on the couch, So, and I was super down for that. Like, I thought it was really cute. I saw a relationship with this person. I was very down.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, so we're hanging out, and I do remember we start to kiss, and then it like kind of starts escalating. This, I will say, obviously, this is where like the assault part starts coming in. I don't really know how to describe it without it being graphic. So I do think like if this is something that is hard for your listeners or anyone who's listening to this, like, feel free to fast forward. But this is when the sexual assault, specifically rape, happens. Like one of the things that it's hard. I go back and forth because it's like, rape is a harsh word, but it's a harsh act. I feel like when people only call it a sexual assault, it's like softens it in a way. And like that's also more of a blanket term. And so that's one of the things that I do try to like call it what it is. Yeah. But it's also hard. And like sometimes I don't know, it's also just an icky word. So I don't know.
I think Uncle Chris said something really similar when he was talking about his story. Of,
really?
Like, sexual assault is sometimes we say it because it's like, rape is a really scary word. It's a terrifying thing, and sexual assault is a more blanket. But there's a Venn diagram, and rape is in the sexual assault Venn diagram or whatever. But yeah, I think it's fair. You don't want to water it down.
Yeah, yeah.
Even though it's a scary word.
Yes, and it's like it's an abrupt word. Like it carries like this weight with it, and it's like whoa. But it's also like but it's also a really fucked up thing that people do to people, and like. There are other ways that you can sexually assault someone that also have names too. You know what I mean? So it's, I don't know. So I'll probably be referring to it as, rape pretty much exclusively, but so trigger warning for sure. And I have one of the things as like, I guess a spoiler alert, not really, but is I have a lot of investigation documents. So I'm going to reference a lot of those for what happened, just because memory doesn't always serve the best, and I was retelling it a month, not even a couple weeks after it had happened at the time, versus me almost 8 years from now with something traumatic that you're not bringing up to the front of mind all the time.
We're investigative.
I
mean, Rachel had all of her receipts and stuff when
True.
she was telling the story of the wolf, and like,
oh, you had to.
Yeah, I mean, Alexis started digging up these documents a week ago, and for the first time in almost 8 years, and it was pretty gnarly. Yeah. And it kind of sent you into some spirally places, and like we want to honor that too. Yeah. And yeah, like this is, something that if we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it right, and we're gonna do it fully and with all the documentation.
Yep.
So. Yep. That being said.
Yeah.
We have the papers. We have the receipts. This is what happened. He raped you.
Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately. Yep.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know that I still had these in my email.
Yeah.
It was in my like OG, you know, that email. I don't know if you guys do this too, but like I now have my most sacred one. It actually has the new last name. And I'm like, I need to never give this to like a company marketing emails ever. Yeah. This email that I found all this stuff in is now like my catch-all like spam, but I was able to search back and find all of this shit, and it was crazy. But yeah, it definitely spiraled me a bit, because it was just like, whoa, I didn't realize I had all these details like accessible like that. So yeah. So one of the things also that I want to clarify, it doesn't even, not even clarify as if like I have to, but I think it adds context, is I grew up also with a very conservative Christian upbringing. Sex was for marriage. And I remember my ex that I was dating, the one that I was dating for 3 years, like I ended up having sex with him. It was devastating to my family. Like when they ultimately found out, it was pretty rough and traumatic in and of itself. And so sex was always a very like confusing, traumatic thing. Cause I was like, okay, I shouldn't be doing this, is kind of how I like been grown up to feel, or like brought up to feel. And like, but also I really love this person. Like obviously sex feels good, whatever. So it was always this kind of like push and pull of like, okay, no, we're not doing this. We're not, you know, whatever. Yeah. So, at this time, I obviously was not dating my ex. I also was like still healing from my ex, and I didn't want to have sex. I was down to mess around. Also blanket term, but like I was down for a lot of what's typical like foreplay, you know what I mean? Like I was down to, I was honestly even down to be like naked around someone. I just didn't want them inside me. Like I'm sorry, you know what I mean? To put it graphically, like I just I didn't want that, and that is like beyond okay. Like obviously that's okay. Yes. Even if I wanted to have sex with someone one day and decided I didn't want to the next day, that's okay too. You know what I mean? I didn't have to be consistent with it. It didn't even have to have logic behind it. I just fucking didn't want to. And that's where I was at the time. And, but yeah, it's always been a complex like topic for me. So I remember at that time I was like, I'm down. Like I said, I knew that we were probably going to end up making out. I was even fine if it went a little further than that. I just knew that I did not want penis and vagina sex. I did not want that at all. And so we are making out. It's starting to escalate. He's like feeling me up. He put his hand on my pants, messing around on there, ends up like taking off my shirt, things like that, taking off my clothes. And I'm like, okay. And then I remember I'm like, okay, I'm good with this, but like we're kind of towing a line of like, and you're always kind of trying, like, unfortunately, especially with someone you don't know very well, there is a bit of that, like, okay, like communication is obviously so important, but you're also trying to toe this line of like, I don't want to like really ruin things.
I don't want to kill the vibe or the mood or be like a prude, but like at what point do I say like, ooh, actually I'm uncomfortable? Yeah. It's difficult sometimes.
Now I am on the side of ruin the fucking mood. Ruin it. Talk about it. If you speak up, don't be worried about ruining it, because that's something that comes up later. Is he's like, I was worried about ruining the mood, so I didn't ask her, blah blah blah, which I think is also bullshit. But it's like, I also am someone who understands like wanting to be careful of not completely like, oh, we're having a great time, and like I really actually could see a relationship with this person, and then, you know, to kind of scare him off or something like that, whatever. So I was kind of also waiting until I was like, okay, there is no other way. Like, we are definitely heading towards sex. I need to say something. And it was when he started also taking off his clothes. Then I was like, okay, I don't want to have sex. Like I said it straight up, because I was just like, okay, we are at that like point of no return. Like, you know, it's very, you know, it's time to be like, okay, no, I don't want to have sex. And I remember he was like, then what are we doing?
He said that?
Yeah.
He said, then what are we doing?
Yeah. He said, then what are we doing? And I said, I don't know, not having sex. Like, I literally was like taken aback, like, I don't know. I thought maybe, and in my head, I'm also like, aren't you like, this is still
enjoying
fun?
This?
Yeah, this is still fun.
What do
like,
you mean? this is a fun activity in and of itself.
Yeah. Like, oh, it's, what are we doing? Like, I don't know. It was,
Gross response.
Very. The actual assault part is hard to remember perfectly chronologically. There's a lot of random things I remember about it that could have happened before or after each other.
Sure.
I know for a fact what happens at the end kind of thing, but like I remember at one point he's on top of me. I remember at one point he's behind me. Like, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what came before. I don't know at what point, because there's even a point where he's trying to put his dick in me. And then there's a point, I think, after that where he's fingering me, because it's like this whole over and over of me at the start being very clear. I do not want to have sex, but like, I'm okay. And I didn't say specifically this part, but it's like, we can still make out and things like that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to have sex. Stop there. That's the stop. Yeah. But like everything before, I haven't said that I have a problem with that stuff. I'm good with that.
Yeah.
And he is just continually using the foreplay type stuff to try again over and over and over again. Yeah. And so, so I remember he was on top of me. I remember he's trying to put his dick inside me. I remember telling him no and stop over 10 times, a little less than 20 times. Mm-hmm. A lot. No and stop. I don't remember how many times each, but it was a variation of both. And I remember explicitly saying quit it once. I do remember, for some reason, I remember saying that one time. Mm-hmm. So once again, obviously, I mean, how do you fucking misunderstand that?
Yeah. No.
Yeah. You don't.
You don't.
You don't. You ignore it. If you choose to ignore it. That's the thing. Like, you heard it though. Mm-hmm. I remember that he actually was in me at least 3 times, 3 distinct times. I remember at one point he asked me if I was tightening it, meaning tightening my vagina, which is baffling to me because he was having a hard time putting it in. And I'm like, because I don't fucking want it. Because I'm not like spreading them for you. You know what I mean? Like,
oh my God, because your body is.
Yeah. And it's hurting.
Yeah.
It's
You're
hurting.
actively saying no with your mouth and your body.
Yeah. Literally. Yeah. And for it to be so, like, for him to have to fucking ask that is, I mean, it's crazy. It really is crazy.
I'm interested to know, was he drinking before you arrived?
So, good question. He claims in his interview with the investigator that he had smoked weed earlier in the day.
Okay.
He said he was, basically he ends up saying Alexis was intoxicated and told him she'd had at least 2 IPA beers, which I'm like, if anything, it was 2 IPAs and a shitload of pizza. Like, fuck you. Over several hours.
In reading my statement that you sent me today, I said you had 1 beer and 1 cider.
Yeah, that's probably what it was too. Yeah, anything he says, it's like, there are things that he says that I do remember that I'm like, okay, truth-ish or truth. And then there's a lot that's complete horseshit. So I'm like, if I don't remember that, it didn't happen. I'm sure it was a beer and a cider. And maybe one of the beers was an IPA. Who fucking cares?
Also, it doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't fucking matter.
Who fucking cares?
But interesting that he had smoked earlier in the day. It wasn't even like, oh, I was high and whatever. Like, there's...
No, it says Andrew stated he was not intoxicated and had not been drinking, but had smoked marijuana earlier in the day. He stated he was pretty sober, in quotes.
Okay. Just let the record show.
Yeah, man. So, so I do remember, obviously I'm saying no, stop, whatever. And the problem is like, I'm also a people pleaser, majorly.
Yeah.
So with situations like this, and this does come up like after and the next day and stuff, I'm like, okay, this isn't happening. Like, this is just us not being on the same page, or like, this is just like him somehow not understanding me or whatever. I do remember being scared
during.
Yeah. Like, well, like, cause almost I'm like trying to rationalize this because I'm like, this makes no sense. Like, I'm telling you no and you're not listening. And I remember being scared because I was just like, damn, like, he's on top of me and my words are meaning nothing.
Yeah.
and I'm powerless to get this person off of me. I didn't try to like punch him or anything, but I'm just like, fucking listen, like, how about stop? Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I was saying. Like, he'd kind of like back off from what I remember. But like, we would still be like, cause I'm very much like, if we're at this line that's back here, like I said, I'm okay with this. I'm not okay with you with you trying to put it in. You know what I mean?
Not have been more clear that you were not okay with penetrative sex.
My God, dude. My God.
And we do that, and we like preserve. It's like that was probably your own brain trying to protect yourself.
Yeah.
To not panic and not be like, I'm okay. It's okay. He's just not understanding me.
Yes.
And like, I'm rationalizing this abuse that's like actively happening to me right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like you protecting yourself thing.
1000%.
Yeah.
Which, I did not, it took, there's a little bit later where I'll kind of explain a bit of like, that there was a lot of not understanding some of my behavior that happens later because I just am like, what? Like, why did I, whatever. And it's like, oh no, that was trauma. And like, that's actually really common with victims. So I'll talk about that too. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so, I remember at one point he's behind me, like we're laying on the couch, like, long ways, like kind of spooning. And he's like, using his hand, whatever, on me, which like I said, I was fine with. And I don't remember, it must have been, because I remember, and this comes up in the report, that it was confusing. And so I'm guessing his hand wasn't like over in front of me, I don't think, because I would have seen that. Mm-hmm. I think it was probably under, and this is very graphic, feel free to cut it out if it doesn't make sense. But I think it was under, because at one point he switches to using his dick, and I don't know. And then I figure it out, and I'm like, once again, fucking stop. You know what I mean? Like, fuck.
Almost like a trickery.
Trying to trick you into.
Yes, exactly.
It's gross. It's really
super gross. At one point, I know that he's on top of me, not listening to me, and I say, if you don't stop, you're going to be raping me. And he didn't, from what I remember, he didn't stop. That might have been actually what transitioned like him to move behind me or something like that. Like I remember the demeanor changed, but it didn't stop. You know what I mean? That wasn't the end, because what ended it, or one of the things that got me out of it, really, I think ended it, was me offering to give him a blowjob. Was ultimately because in my head I'm like, he's not going to stop until he gets off. Like, this is a one-track mind, and I am not good. Like, he's not gonna stop this until he gets his. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, I'll blow you. Like, I literally just, is that what you want? Like, please stop. And so and then it says that I stated that he kept going and then stopped. So that was, I think, what kind of ended it. I put my clothes back on. From what I remember, and, or at least in what I said, in my statement. And then he was like, aren't you going to blow me? And I was like, no, you're a douchebag. And I went into the bathroom and I like composed myself a bit. Like, I was just like, what the fuck? And I think in my head, I was like once, like you said, protective mindset. He's just, he's a douchebag. Like, literally what I called him to his face. You're a douchebag. You're not listening to me. I'm removing this temptation that you clearly can't handle. I'm putting my clothes back on, and there, like, you know what I mean? Like, but like, okay, like, it's fine. Like, you don't need to leave the date. You don't need to make a scene, Alexis. Like, none of this stuff.
Yeah.
So we still go to the movie.
Whoa.
Yeah. And before that, this I didn't remember till later, but so basically, to kind of skip forward for a second, when I end up reporting this, that's the story I shared. And then it hits me after I've had that first interview with the investigator that I ended up talking to, that after that, after I had gotten dressed and come out of the bathroom, he was still sitting on the couch, and I kind of like straddled on his lap and was like kissing his neck and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I remember, and like purposely trying to tease him is what I was doing. Mm-hmm. And I remember that memory hitting me like after I had already given my story and feeling like, holy fuck, my whole story doesn't carry any weight now. Like I literally felt like, because I did that, I have no grounds. They're going to think I'm, not necessarily a liar, but just kind of like, oh, you did that though? Like, okay, clearly it wasn't that bad. Like, whatever. I was panicking. And I remember I told you, and there's a quote in the investigation as well that I told you that. And I was like, Rachel, what does that say about me? And because I was just like, why would I do that? And I remember I told the investigator, and she was like, you're okay. It's actually really common. She's like, most victims actually, or like a majority, I don't know if she said most, whatever. A majority of victims actually have consensual sex with their rapist after, because it's a way to try and regain control. And so she was like, it actually makes complete sense that you did that. Like, you're okay. Like I said, like, you're, none of all my fears were quelled, like, in that, I guess, moment about like, fuck, like, what does this say about me? It says I was fucking trying to survive. And it says I was, trying to take back some fucking control of a situation that I had zero control over. But at the time I was like shaken by that like realization, or like that random memory from that night that popped up in my head. So that was really fucked. But apparently it's common. So if something like that has happened to you out there, it's okay. And one of the things my therapist said to me that you'll always say to me, things like that, is like, you make sense. And that was just, it was just part of it in that moment. I was trying to take back some control. So we go to this movie.
Get Out. After
bro.
This, bro.
So, and
fucking ironic title too. Sorry.
Honestly.
Ironic as shit title.
My God,
Yeah. Yeah, sorry. I had to say it.
It's okay.
I just got,
Yeah.
That movie's also freaky as fuck.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. So, and it's, I don't remember how long it was. It felt like a million years that movie was on.
Bet.
We drove together. We drove in his car. And I remember he apologized if he was too aggressive, is what he said. I apologize if I was too aggressive. So clearly there's like some, kind of thought process happening of like, that wasn't okay. And I was like, it's fine. Like, and I remember we went to the movie, and I'm like, kind of in survival mode, like, just disassociating, really. I remember during the movie it hit me partly because there's a lot of like, it hit me here, because it just, I think, was like, I don't know, maybe as part of survival thing too, is like my brain's like, okay, we can process this tiny bit of this information right now, okay, we can process a bit more, okay, we can process a bit more. So I was just like, I remember it hit me like that was not okay. And I don't remember. Do you remember? I probably was at that time. Weed I'm sober now, but weed was a big vice for me. I used it to escape. I think that the rape really like catapulted, the escaping via weed, but I think I was doing it before still. Like, cause I think even with, the breakup, I feel like I don't think I wasn't smoking. You know what I mean?
Yeah, when I remember it becoming like a problem is after the rape.
Yeah.
So yeah, you probably were smoking before, but it wasn't something that was like really like triggering alarm bells in my head.
Yeah.
After.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, it was a numbing thing for me for sure.
Oh, for sure.
So I remember in the theater, I'm just like, it's hitting me. I just want to fucking escape. I remember after, I don't know how it came up, but I remember after I'm still hanging out with him. And afterward, it's like, well, like, what do you want to do? Do you want to like, and I don't know if I brought it up or if he did, but it was like, you want to go back and smoke some weed? And I was like, yeah, yes, I do. And looking back, it's like, no shit. I'm like, what is my fastest way out of here? And it's actually way out of here. Even if I'm still in the situation, even if I'm still with this person, how can I get myself away quickly? And it was weed, and that was my like I said, that was my thing for years. So we go, I remember we go, I don't know, I think it was probably on the way home, we went to a gas station, got rolling papers. We walked or drove, I don't know, to one of his friends' houses that lived like around the corner. I remember it was like all black lights and like party lights and whatever. And it's like, and I'm just like, what is happening? I just want weed. And he bought weed, and then we went back to his house, watched Great British Baking Show, and I got super stoned. I was just like, fuck this shit. And then I went home. Definitely, I know for a fact, ain't no way I was good to drive, I'm sure, because I know I didn't smoke then dip immediately, but like I know what my goal was with smoking, and so I guarantee I wasn't sober when I went home. So I'm glad I made it home safe and didn't hurt anybody. But yeah, I was in full numbing mode. So I do remember getting home, and I remember obviously I had, even though my brain was very much in survival mode, I was also in like I knew it was fucked. You know what I mean? Even though I wasn't like fully processing everything, I remember thinking, do I need to get a rape kit? And it's like 2 or 3 in the morning. I was living with my great uncle at the time. I'm like in my room, and I'm like, first off, where the fuck do you even get one of those? Even now, I'm like, pretty sure the hospital. I don't know.
Yeah.
Am I going to go? Like, I just was like, what am I supposed to do right now? Like that's not something I'm equipped to go do right now alone at 2 or 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
And I also know that if that was my course of action, if I go pee or take a shower, both the things that I want to do so badly and get this like fucking night off of me is like going to mess it up. Like, I know that that's a thing too, is like you're going to mess up the sample or what the fuck ever. You need to preserve the evidence. And I just was like, I can't fucking do that right now. I'm not doing that. So I showered and I went to bed. The next day is a Friday. I go to school. I have a midterm that day.
Oh my God.
I think we also had a quiz in our journalism class, because I remember you and I were talking in the hallway, and you're like, how did it go? And I was like, well, this happened. Like, it didn't go very well. And at the time, him and I had plans, I think, for like whale watching, like in like 2 days or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, we had already made future plans before, because the movie night was kind of on a whim, like, because I was in the area almost, like, so the whale watching was kind of technically supposed to be our next date, but like we just ended up seeing each other. So we have, plans coming up. And so he had texted me that day. I didn't respond. And I remember telling you, or at least I correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I remember telling you, like, I don't think I want to see him again. He feels really bad. Like, he told me he was sorry if he was too aggressive, but like, it just, I don't know. Like, I think I just was kind of feeling like it was fucked up. And I just thought he took it too far or whatever, like whatever this kind of like soft language is what kind of what I was telling myself.
You came into class and sat next to me in our spots that we always sat. And I kind of like tried to, because class was starting, but I tried to whisper like, how'd it go last night? And you were like, I'll tell you after. And I could already tell it was like, oh, it didn't go very well. And then we went in the hallway to after class to have a private conversation, and the wolf was still there. He was on campus waiting for us to get out of class.
I do remember that.
And I remember he was like calling me while we were having our conversation, because he knew what time I was getting out of class and stuff, and we were going to go meet up with him. I think that was the
first day I fucking met him, honestly.
You met him at St. Patrick's Day.
You're right.
Yeah. So you had met him a couple times already.
Yeah, you're right.
But yeah, we talked in the hallway, and you told me what happened at that point.
Yeah. Okay. That is definitely how it went. And I don't remember the classroom, but I mean, I don't fucking remember a lot about that day. I was in like survival mode. I do remember the hallway though. I remember the hallway.
Said, Alexis, I think you were raped.
Yeah. Yeah. You were the one that told me that. Because that wasn't, I knew that, I think deep down, but I was not going there.
Yeah.
And
confirmation.
Yeah. And when you said that, I was just like, okay. Like, it just kind of took the wind out of my lungs. According to this, I don't remember doing this either, but I did text my mom. And that was so when you told me, Alexis, you were raped, it was like hit a bit. Told my mom, it hit a bit, like a lot. I do remember I actually wrote that in here, like said that in here, that like telling my mom was like, whew, okay. And
do you not remember telling your mom?
No, I don't. I think I texted her. Yeah. I don't know. I tried to find it in my text and I couldn't find it, but
your brain just erases trauma.
Fuck
sometimes.
yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is why I am like thankful in a way that, there's all this paperwork stuff that kind of cements it, I guess, for the
reference.
retelling.
I'm just so glad that you saw Rachel that next day and that you can talk to her about it, and that sometimes it requires somebody else from the outside who you trust in your circle to be able to be like, I think you were raped, or are you
This is
okay?
bad.
Yeah. And then, so I'm thankful that you were there.
Oh my God.
Me too. And reminder that Alexis and I had only known each other for a couple months at this point.
4.
Yeah.
Not even 4. Not even 4.
3?
Because it was
3
April
months.
6th. And so we had only known each other for like 3 months.
That you were in each other's lives for so many reasons, this being one of them.
Oh, God was all over that.
Yeah.
My goodness. Yeah. So once again, trauma really got us even closer very quickly.
Which, and by the way, I had no experience with this kind of thing either at this point. Like, I didn't know anybody that had been raped or sexually assaulted or anything at this point.
You probably
had
do.
Confided in. Oh no.
Yeah,
Well,
but
now
I get
I
what you're
know that I
saying.
do. Like a family member, that kind of thing. But yeah, like I had never had anyone like confide in me
Tell
about
you,
that before.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is not in any way about me either, but like this is very much my first experience with anything like this either. It was like in a way very formative for me as well. In just I don't know. I probably didn't do everything right either in this, just because I was also learning, but it's it's a very delicate thing.
Yeah. No, I have no trauma about the way you handled it.
Well, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, no, I needed you. And yeah, I'm so thankful. And I know it was no accident that you were in my life at that time. And I still are, obviously. But like, yeah, I don't think that there are very, very many friends who, after knowing someone for that short of time, would have been the type of support person that you are. And would have dropped everything the way that you did and like been there for me at like my messiest and my worst. Like I don't remember if it was just from the breakup or if it was from like after the rape, but I do remember like you and Taylor, I was supposed to come hang out with you guys, and I was like, dude, I can't stop crying. Like I'm in a rough spot and I just can't make it. And you were like, please come as you are. Like, please come. You don't need to stop crying, but come here. Like, please let us love on you. And like, that's the type of friendship that like, it just was such a godsend and I needed, obviously. And like, that's how you still are. But like, that is definitely, I was a mess. You know what I mean? Like I was very much crumbling person. And so to have that in such an early stage with someone was like, yeah, God, like I said, God knew I needed it. So
It was divine for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, you told me. I did tell the wolf because I remember I was processing.
Yes, you did.
There's a lot of like people that I kind of just like almost like, I don't know, to use a bad word, like messily told, like I don't know, I can't think of a better word, but just like frantically, like I'm processing and like I'm still like kind of, it's hitting me how serious it is. So there's a lot of people that just kind of probably ended up in my path, including the wolf. I'd probably would have taken that back if I could. And but yeah, I was just like, yeah, this happened to me. I'm not doing super well today, you know.
In true Traumedy Show fashion.
Yeah, right. How are you? Actually, yeah.
You're getting your coffee order and you're like, I was just raped.
Yeah, like, oh man.
It's one of those topics that is so scary sometimes. You don't even like often joke about it.
Yeah, you'd be surprised how many people make rape jokes though.
It's not appropriate.
It's not.
Except in this little tiny Traumedy Show.
Yeah. No, and
we have dark humor moments to cope.
And obviously, like when I don't know, and this is just personally how I feel about it, or what's triggering for me is like I feel very much like an environment like this. I'm in control of it. You guys know. I think it's also different. It's one thing when someone's being very insensitive when they know what's happened to me, but it's another when someone just has no idea and like they're saying really like, you know, oh, like I don't know. I've heard people just be like, oh, like that they totally raped them, like using it in like sports or shit like that, where it's like,
why are we
what?
doing that?
What? Like I remember there was a
I've
day
been around you in several situations where that's happened, and I'm like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, like fucking knock it off.
Because it immediately just sends you into a triggered space because that word is so, it carries so much weight for you.
100%. And I know that like, I don't know, I know that I probably say things that are really fucking traumatic to someone. Like, I think it's just important to kind of be conscious, but it is hard. Like, I don't know. It's very tough, but I've never even, I don't think even if this had ever happened to me, I don't think any of those jokes would be funny. I don't think they're funny. Like, even if I wasn't personally triggered. So I'm just like, just shut up. It wasn't even worth the potential to trigger someone. It's not even fucking funny. Like, it's not a good one, you know? So I don't know. So yeah, I remember there was one of the things I found in my text when I was searching for stuff was I had told my mom, like, I found a text from my mom, like, wow, I swear, Mom, like, everyone at my work has made like like used it as a joke. Like, they didn't know, but like used rape as a joke like 20 times today. What's going on? Like, what? God. And my mom's like, I'm sorry. But it's like those kind of environments, like, come on.
Yeah.
So it's weird. It's weird.
Yeah.
I remember the next like 2 weeks, I was like, what do I do with this information? Like, what do I do about this? I know that he was continuing to text me. So after that night, I wasn't responding. So he texted me the next day at 5:30. What are you up to? So that day when I had the midterm and everything. Yeah. Well, yeah. Then on Sunday the 9th, Saturday the 8th, he said, hey, are we still on for tomorrow? Then on Sunday the 9th, oh, actually, so it was that night at midnight. So it was technically Sunday, but it was at 12:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
I said, hey, so I'm going to have to cancel for tomorrow. I know you probably don't think this, but the other night you completely ignored me saying no and stop over and over, and you literally raped me. And I feel like, and it's like, poor Alexis, like using these tender words in ways, like, I feel like that shows that you don't respect me. Like, no, that's exactly what it shows. Like, you don't fucking respect me. You know what I mean? But it's interesting to look back on the wording. But yeah, I said, I hope you never do that to anyone else because it was really scary and really fucked up. And he, a couple minutes later, said, I understand what I did was wrong looking back. I feel terrible about it and I am really sorry, with like a sad face emoji. So then the next day on Monday at 9 p.m., he said, hey, Alexis, I feel horrible about what happened the other night and would really like to invite you to get coffee to apologize for the whole thing. Which I'm like, you fucking think
I'd like to formally invite
Starbucks
you to,
is going to make up for this, like, the worst thing of my life. Yeah, you fucking piece of shit.
Have a cappuccino with a side of rape.
Yeah, literally. Do you like whipped cream on that? Like,
no, I'd like to invite you to,
bro. And then I didn't respond. And then 30 minutes later, no, only a couple minutes later, actually, he said, please, I made a mistake. I just want the opportunity to say sorry for taking it too far the other night. So I never responded. I blocked him, I think, at that point.
Oh, good. Oh,
yeah. Because, I mean, he wasn't stopping messaging me. And then I was thinking the next 2 weeks, like, what do I do?
Yeah.
And ultimately...
Frappuccino means no, thank you.
Yeah. What the...
Sorry.
Yeah.
Bad joke.
The puns can't stop with you. It's okay.
Okay, I'm done.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I think too, maybe not at a conscious level, but I think there was a bit in it of like pacifying me. Like, I need to make this right before you spiral about it and before I have to face some real consequences. Like, if I can pencil over this with a coffee,
control the situation and make sure that you forgave him properly so that you wouldn't.
And then he could be like, I'm so sorry. Like, whatever. Yeah. And I think the fact that I was like, that I said, you raped me.
Well, and then he said, I'm sorry. I realized what I did was wrong. He kind of was admitting it via text. So I can see why he really desperately wanted to get coffee with you. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't know. I don't remember if I found this out before. I must have found it out when I decided to go through this school. But basically, I was like, okay, I think I need to report this. Ultimately, in true people pleaser fashion, what ended up pushing me to report it was that I didn't want this to happen to someone else. Like I said, he's a conventionally attractive guy. I don't think he's told no very often, or at least to that point, I don't think he was told no very often. And that scared me. Because I was like, I don't think I'll be the only one that doesn't want to have sex and ends up in a situation with him. You know what I mean? Like, and that freaked me out. So it really was ultimately like, for the next girl that I guess that I did that I decided to report it.
The next thing that I remember is us being at like this fish taco place and you were weighing your options.
Really?
Yeah. You had researched like, do I go criminal with this or do I go through the school? And you were like weighing both of your options and we were talking it through.
Oh, I have no memory of that. I know what taco place you're talking about.
You do?
It's
like a little shack. It was like a very small little. We never went back. We only went the one time.
Oh, maybe I don't remember that. It wasn't the one that we ended up at Halloween one night. The one with the happy hour tacos. Where the fuck did we go?
I don't know. Really random little place.
Okay, yeah. So I don't remember that because that's what I was gonna say. I don't remember if I was weighing my how I found out when I was deciding. Okay, it's like, okay, do I report this? Yes, I want to report this. Now the next decision, which also fuck decision. Like it, and I don't have a solution for it. I really don't, but it sucks. It sucks that it's like all of a sudden all these decisions were in my lap.
Yeah.
Starting with like, do I leave this date right now, which it wasn't like I don't know, it's still traumatizing. But then do I need to get a rape kit? Should I go pee? Like, should I take a shower? And then
do I tell someone?
Yeah, do I tell someone? Do I and then do I report this officially? And how is that process going to traumatize me? And then from there, like, I don't know, it just is. I also had to decide, this wasn't really much of a decision. It was just more of a forced thing, but I had to go get a STD test because I didn't fucking know anything about him.
That's right.
Yeah. I didn't know his sexual history. I wasn't planning on, doing that, like I said. So when that happened, I was like, what if I have a sexually transmitted disease from this shit? I remember that was super traumatizing. I had to go deal with that. So there was a lot of like decisions that had to happen. And so that's why, I don't know, I think probably a lot of the listeners that you guys have are not like this, but I do think that there's a lot of people that don't understand why people come out with information like that so much later, like why people come forward and are like, this happened to me. And it was like, why didn't you speak out about it? Like, years and years ago. It's like, because you're also, I mean, what you're essentially asking is like, not only process that yourself and like, and your brain's in survival mode, like we were saying, like all this stuff, you're trying to just fucking protect yourself. And then you also, it's like people expect someone to just blaze a trail forward of like, especially when we're talking about crazy like celebrity people. I feel like that's a little easier for people to understand, of like someone with power, how it's like scary to come forward and be like, my whole career could be in jeopardy or something like that, when it's like Hollywood or things like that. But it's still like, you really think I'm gonna just come out? Because me having to fucking come forward about this, original trauma, the rape. Second trauma is the hearing and the fucking investigation that took place. There is so much trauma that I have that's associated with just the fucking reporting aspect of this. Mm-hmm. And so I just get a little bit fired up when there's any expectation on victims of like, because even if, I mean, I firmly believe if I had chosen to do nothing with the information, if I had chosen to just bottle it up, like that's my fucking prerogative. Like people need to get through it the way that they can. And for us to have any expectation of like, you did it wrong, or you're not thinking about the future women, or like, you could have kept so many other people safe. It's like, you have no right to ask that, because you have no idea what it's like in that situation. And then me, as a victim myself, the way I was traumatized is different than the next person. So even for me to sit here and be like, you should do this, no. Like, we don't know. You don't know how you're going to handle something like that until you're there. And I hope you're never there. But like, I don't know. It's just crazy the way that people look at it after the fact. And there are things that will come up more in the investigation and stuff that are just like, wow, like it's crazy. It's crazy, the expectations and people just how little, I guess, they understand.
Amen.
Yeah.
That's such a good
Rant.
perspective.
And if someone is coming forward and talking about it, know that it's taking everything fucking in them and believe them.
Yeah. Yes. God damn. That, I will say, there are a few things. I used to get very, very triggered very easily when it came up to stuff like this. It takes a lot more for me to get really go to a dark place.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I can't handle and probably won't ever be able to handle is any type of victim blaming or not believing. I can't watch. I love true crime.
Yeah.
I can't do stories like that. I can't do shows about like I don't know. It's very hard. That's something where I'm just like, I don't know. There's something in me that's just like, how fucking dare you? Because it's just like, I don't know. It's crazy. It's crazy that it takes the probably one of the worst things, maybe probably the worst thing that's ever happened to someone and be like, I don't know. That doesn't.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you just trying to get attention?
Yeah. Believe people. That's another part. So I found out that for me to go criminal, it's basically talking to the police, would require proof beyond a reasonable doubt. Obviously, we know that. We've heard that. And I had text messages, which I felt like like you said, he literally like admits it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had those text messages. And the unfortunate thing about the criminal route in my case, and probably a lot of other people's cases, is you could argue that he wasn't the one that sent them. You could, there is a lot that goes into proving beyond a reasonable doubt. There's a lot of doubt that someone could draw, I guess. I don't know. I don't know law like that, but like I know that from what I found and from what I was told, I believe by like the Title IX office at San Diego State, if I wanted to go criminal, I would probably need to do like a wiretapped phone call or something like that. Like something like beyond like getting him to admit it, where it's like it was him, he admits it, whatever. Sound traumatizing anyone? Like fuck that. Yeah. I'm not doing that. And then so that was part of it. And then or I could go basically like the civil way through the school.
Yeah.
And anything that's like a civil case, including, at least to my understanding, like the Title IX, like anything with the school, is you are, I believe the term, I actually made a note of it. It's preponderance of evidence to support is the standard for civil, or at least the school in most civil cases. Basically what that means, I looked up the definition. It says it's a legal standard of proof that means a party must present evidence that's more convincing than the opposing party's evidence. And it's, like I said, it's the standard used in most civil cases. So basically it's like proving he probably did it versus he did it beyond a reasonable doubt, which is a lot easier to prove. And my text messages were really good for that.
Right.
I decided that because one of the things I kind of decided was like, if I had gotten an STD, I told myself, at least at the time, I was probably going to go criminal with it. And I also at the time was feeling like, even though obviously rape in and of itself is a very violent act, I was feeling like if I got like punched or like, whatever, I don't know. Yeah. Violently raped, maybe then I would go criminal, was kind of my logic at the time. And my ultimate goal was like, I just didn't want this. I didn't want this to happen to other people. So I decided to go civil basically through the Title IX office.
And you didn't want to see him around campus.
Yeah. Yeah. Good. Yeah. I was so scared. Yeah. I didn't know his schedule. I didn't know his classes. Cause like I said, we had only gone on like 2 dates, barely talked. And yeah, I was looking around all the time. And this went on my whole time at SDSU, but really gnarly that semester. And then even in the fall, cause the investigation's still going at that point, I was still very, very scared of seeing him. I never did see him, thank God. But he also, one of the things with the investigation was he was given a denial of access letter, which basically means like basically the school's version of like a restraining order, like do not contact her in any way, shape or form. So I basically decided to go through with the school. So I ended up making an appointment on April 20th. So the rape happened.
420.
Yeah, right.
Oh my god.
I probably did. You probably smoke did a shit ton. Yeah, I probably did.
Taking this fucker to court.
Yep. The rape happened on the 6th. I decided to report it on the 20th. So what is that, like a little over 2 weeks? Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to stop here and we're going to resume next week with part 2 and go into more of the investigation and the trial. of Alexis and Satan's butthole. So stay tuned for part 2 next week, where we get into some more of the details. But don't forget, as always, to rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts, and follow us on Instagram and TikTok at the.traumedy.show.
Thank you. Goodbye.